Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. It looks like Errol Spence Jr. versus Carlos Ocampo going to a purse bid March 6th. Stay tuned. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Now, I want to give you guys this quick update, let you know what's going on with welterweight IBF champion from DeSoto, Texas. That's Errol the Truth Spence Jr. Now, the IBF ruled that he had to face his mandatory coming up. And he is going to fight. He's getting a hometown fight. They announced it when they did that Showtime boxing up front. He's scheduled for a hometown fight June 16th in Dallas, right? The opponent is not determined, but with the IBF ruling, with him having an open date, and a lot of welterweights not really wanting to fight him, which we'll talk about later in this video, it looks like it'll be against Carlos Ocampo. Now, Ocampo is the highest rated guy. They don't have anyone, I think, in the number 1 or 2 spot, so I think he's rated number 3 within the IBF. I don't know how they come up with their ratings. I don't know why Sean Porter's not in their ratings, but that's the mandatory that the IBF has set forth. Now, this is the way it works. They were supposed to arrive, both teams, Team Spence and Team Ocampo, their representation, they were supposed to arrive at a conclusion on when they're going to fight. Well, we know the date and the venue and purse split and all that, right? If they do not do that, then it goes to an auction style purse bid March 6th. So technically they have up until March 6th to still come to an agreement. Like, let's say before Deontay Wilder fight, he's fighting on the 3rd. Let's say that night they come to an agreement on the fight happening, when it's going to happen, and they notify the IBF, then it cancels the purse bid. No need for it, right? But between now and March 6th, if they have not agreed, the two camps have not agreed, then it goes to a purse bid, and the winning bidder, like let's say Lou DiBella, he bids for the rights or whoever to secure the fight, then the winning bidder will receive the rights to the fight and that kind of thing. And then they have to notify the IBF the date and all that. And again, we know the date, June 16th, is going to happen in Dallas. I don't know exactly what venue they're using, but that much we do know. So that's it. Nothing else really. There's supposed to be, just so you guys know, in case some of you guys care about the financial end, the champion is entitled to 85% of the winning bid, and the challenger is entitled to 15%. That's per the IBF rules. So let's say somebody buys this fight for $4 million. I mean, I'm just throwing a number out there. Errol Spence would be entitled to 85% of that $4 million. And the challenger, Ocampo, would be given an opportunity, and he would only be entitled to 15%. So that's kind of how it works. But on the bright side, if you beat Errol Spence, you're going to gain a lot of notoriety by doing that. And you'll be a champion. Now you're in a position of power. So your next fight, when it comes down to you having to fight a mandatory, you'll be the champion and you'll be eligible for that 85%. So that's kind of, so you guys know, that's the reason for when they have these mandatories. That's the reason it's better if the teams can negotiate and come to terms by themselves, because if not, then you're held to that sanctioning body's rules, the 85-15% split, 75-25 or whatever it is for that particular sanctioning body. That's why you looked at Gennady Golovkin versus Danny Jacobs. He didn't, when they were trying to make the fight for December 10th of actually it might have been 2016, and he didn't like the split. He's like, man, I got a belt. Golovkin's the super champion. I could do better. You know what I mean? Because 25% of what they were offering wouldn't even match what he got to fight Peter Quillen. So, you know what I mean? If they can get a good deal going without the purse split and all that, the purse bid, then it usually benefits the fighters, right? Unless they're offering a lot of money. Because I remember Deontay Wilder, when he was supposed to fight Alexander Povetkin, the Russian promoter, World of Boxing, put up like $7 million, a little bit over $7 million. So that would have been a good chunk of change for Deontay Wilder, which is why I think he even sued Povetkin's people, because the fight got canceled, because he was entitled to that money, and through no fault of his own, the fight got canceled, Meldonian stuff, etc. Now back to Errol Spence Jr. I'm just gonna say it like this: I hate when the fans are playing dumb. Don't play dumb. You know what I mean? I don't know much about Carlos Ocampo. I've seen some pictures, and his promoter emails me, so I've gotten emails and stuff about when he had fights, but I don't know everything about him, right? However, I'm perfectly fine with Errol Spence taking the fight. One, it satisfies a mandatory, which he has to do. You know what I mean? You look at the previous IBF champion, Kell Brook fought guys like Jojo Dan and Kevin Bezier, and it was all chalked up to who the IBF had as mandatory. Carlos Ocampo, from what I've seen and what I do know about him, he looks pretty tall. He might even be taller than Errol Spence Jr. And I think he's from Mexico. I don't think he's necessarily just Mexican American. I think he might actually be from Mexico. But anyway, he looks pretty rugged, stuff like that. So, I mean, it's no worse than Kell Brook fighting Jojo Dan or Kevin Bezier. At least this dude looks like he's willing to go out on his shield, some good size, stuff like that. Do I think he'll beat Errol Spence Jr.? I mean, I don't know enough about him to suggest that. Errol Spence right now got the momentum. But either way, it's solid. Errol Spence, he just went to another man's backyard to get the title. It's right that he gets a fight like this, a homecoming fight. You know what I mean? Danny Garcia fought Samuel Vargas in Philly, right? Deontay Wilder, for his first title defense, he fought Eric Molina in Alabama. You know what I mean? For Errol Spence's first title defense, he fought a veteran like Lamont Peterson, who's giving people like Danny Garcia and Amir Khan tricky fights, right? He fought him at the Barclays. So, first of all, Errol Spence deserves a hometown fight. And again, it satisfies the mandatory. Beyond that, the fans play dumb. Nobody's really jumping up for joy to fight Errol Spence from what we've seen. Different people have their own way of thinking. Like Sean Porter, he says, I wasn't thinking about Errol Spence 3 years ago, 2 years ago. I'm not thinking about him right now. Period. He said it straight up in the interview. Everybody's seen it. Or if you watch boxing, you've seen it. He says, my focus is Keith Thurman. If not, I'll take Danny Garcia. Right? Danny Garcia, he's entertained the idea of a Keith Thurman rematch. And he ain't really, he's brought up Errol Spence, but I mean, it doesn't seem like he's not really saying nothing. He's not saying, hey, I'll fight him in June or nothing. I'm not really hearing no like motions to actually fight him. And then Keith Thurman already told you flat out, I'm not fighting Errol Spence in 2018. We know Pacquiao. If Manny Pacquiao, if he's fighting Mike Alvarado, we know he don't want to fight Errol Spence Jr. Because if you want to fight Errol Spence Jr., why didn't you make a phone call? You know what I'm saying? How do you go from Errol Spence to what's the name? To Mike Alvarado, who doesn't even really have significant wins at welterweight. So, you know what I mean? Don't front like in the division and act like there's a gang of people. There's a couple people like you guys. He recently said he'll fight Errol Spence, but since everybody wants to say boxing is a business, you got to be realistic. Why not fight a guy like Carlos Ocampo, who is your mandatory? I don't even know if or what rank you guys is ranked with the IBF, right? He's coming off a good win versus Ray Robinson, but why not have a hometown fight with your mandatory and satisfy a mandatory obligation, right? And then worry about a guy like you guys. So that does it just to me, I think it could be a good fight, but it doesn't make sense for you to have a hometown fight against the you guys dude and then still have to worry about a mandatory after, or worry about the IBF potentially stripping you. You know what I mean? Because ultimately, most guys, when they're in pursuit of like a big fight, you want to be free and clear of obligations. So why not get your mandatory out of the way this summer? So if you fight a third time later in the year, maybe you can get like Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, or you guys, or whatever big fight presents itself, Luis Colado, whatever, you know what I'm saying, later in the year. So to me, that makes more sense. Satisfy your obligation. You already just fought Lamont Peterson too. So please, I hope the fans don't play dumb in this situation and act like there's a bunch of people who are trying to fight Errol Spence Jr. at welterweight, and oh, why is he fighting Ocampo? This is a cherry pick. Don't blame him. You know what I mean? Because as far as I've seen, some guys have mentioned his name, but it's not. There's no real like pretense behind it. Like Mikey Garcia said he'll fight Errol Spence, but he still has to get past Sergey Lipinets. And then after that, he's talking about fighting at lightweight. Then later, he's talking about fighting Errol Spence Jr. So that still wouldn't help Errol Spence by June and give him an opponent, unless Mikey Garcia says, yo, if I get past Lipinets, I'll be your Huckleberry for June. So that's my thoughts on it. It's going to purse bid March 6th, unless it comes out that they've reached a deal. Let me know what you guys think. Who should Errol Spence fight next? What do you know about Carlos Ocampo? Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.